Hey, it's finally here, the console release for Once Human. If you're just starting Once Human on console, you're probably going to realize pretty quickly that this game has a lot of systems. Blueprints, mods, calibrations, deviations, scenarios, currencies, seasons, Eternaland, and the list goes on. In addition to that, the game isn't always particularly good at explaining how all of this actually fits together. So in this video, I basically want to give you a guide, a handbook to Once Human. We're going through all of the important systems you should understand as a new player. What actually matters, and hopefully save you from making some of the mistakes that I made when I first started out. Now obviously some of these systems go way deeper than I can reasonably cover in a single video. I already made dedicated guides for beginners, deviations, mods, prime wars, tech points, and one of the best loot routes in the game. So whenever we get to something I already covered in detail, I'll point you towards that video, and I'll have all of those guides linked in the description below. That way you can basically use this video as an intended handbook and then jump into the more detailed guide whenever you need them. Quick disclaimer before we start, I haven't played the console version myself. I've played Once Human on PC, and from everything I've seen, the actual game and systems are essentially the same. Whenever I mention a specific button, you should also check your corresponding console keybind on the left side of your in-game screen, so you should be able to follow along without any problems. And before we get into it, I also just hit 2000 subscribers, which is honestly awesome. So thank you to everyone who has been watching these videos, subscribing, commenting and liking the guides. I really appreciate it. Alright, let's get started. So to end up in this screen, you probably had to create a character and complete the tutorial. If you're not good at character creation, you can use QR codes from creators. They are very good and talented people on YouTube, offering like characters that they build as a QR code, and you can import them and play this for now. Or you can obviously then customize the character to your needs as well. I'm not very good at creating characters, but I will show a QR code of one of my characters on screen right now. So if you want to take that, then that's fine. Alright, so since you're on the screen right now, you need to choose a scenario. You want to choose Manibus as a beginner, basically. This is quite important because Way of Winter has many hardcore survival mechanics that will kill you. And it will be very frustrating, even as an experienced player. Deviation Secure Capture Preserve is basically like, yeah, people in this game don't like it if I call it that, but yeah, it's basically a Pokemon mode. You catch deviations that are roaming around in the world, and then you fight with them. You have a team of deviation that fights for you. So, not good. Endless Stream, way too difficult for beginners in my opinion. This is not something you should do. I personally don't like the mode, especially for the visuals. These kind of get on your nerves a bit, but yeah, this is definitely the most challenging and the most extreme endgame scenario that you can play. I have no idea about PvP, never played these. Manibus Novice is for beginners specifically. I was suggesting that in my beginner's guide. Now that I have played a lot more, I think you probably should just start with Manibus. I mean, it depends a bit on if you're playing with friends who are already a bit experienced, or if you're in general a very experienced survival game player yourself, then you can easily skip Manibus Novice and go into Manibus directly. If you're very new to this and maybe this is your first console game, for example, you should probably start with Novice and make your life a lot easier with this. But yeah, the enemies in this scenario don't really pose a challenge ever, in my opinion. So this is like very tuned very easily, let's say it this way. Alright, so we quickly go into game now. You can have up to 10 characters. We will go on one of my characters that is in the Manibus scenario and is currently waiting to be transferred to a permanent server. And this is something I want to explain from the perspective of this character, that you know what you are getting yourself into. So let's quickly explain servers. If you are already on a scenario and you are playing and you want to see what's going on, you can check the scenario phases by clicking onto the scenario in the upper right corner, and then it will say what's happening. So for me, this scenario is basically in the settlement phase, and I'm pre-selecting like a permanent server where my character will go to as soon as this phase ends. So yeah, but we can click on servers and I can show you a bunch of stuff. So these are the servers that are currently available to me. They are common servers, which are like time limited. So basically the server starts, as you can see here it says day 2. It will start, it will run for 40 days in case of a Manibus scenario, and then it will be shut down, or rather it it will go into a settlement phase, and then it will be shut down at some point, and this is when all of your characters get merged towards a permanent server. So these are permanent servers. All of these probably got created at some point from a normal scenario server that just ended, and then basically the more capacity is needed, the more these servers pop up basically. So yeah, you can definitely join a permanent server from the get-go if you desire so. I would highly suggest against that, but this is again from the perspective of someone that loves progression. So I kind of love this like scenario thing and restarting and stuff like that. So yeah, if you say from the get-go, this is not for me, I want a permanent character, I would highly suggest you pick one of these two if you go to Manibus, because they are very populated. There are a lot of people there. The chat is very active. So as you can see, accessible. I'm already registered to this server with my character. So my character from this current Manibus scenario will go to this server. So this is a pre-selection basically. So one more important thing about servers. If your friend is on a server and you cannot get onto the server, most likely you will need a special invitation code. Your friend needs to go into his menus, click on player info, and then he will see special invitation code. You can click on that. Yeah, it says the server is not full yet, so because this server has a lot of space on it, you can just join basically. But if you can't, then this is where you get the special invitation code, where you can get your friend on a server. All right. Next thing we need to cover is the class that you play. So I'm not sure how I can show this really quickly. Oh yeah, I can show it like this. So these are the classes. There's Chef, there's Gardener, there's Beastmaster, and then there's Free Person. I'm a Free Person right now because I didn't want to choose the class on this character yet. So Free Person means you can basically choose later. You get this item. And if you like click on it, or as you can see what I did, you can go into your tech tree, you can click on the class icon, and then you can basically make a choice again. Quick note about these things. So if you are enjoying animal companions very much, you should go probably Beastmaster, because you will enjoy that, and that's very good, and you can like breed the animals and stuff like that. If you care about doing the most DPS, if you care about meta gameplay, if you care about optimizing your character, you should go Chef. Chef can use double buff food and double drinks. So this means there's like, for example, a drink that will increase your elemental damage by 40%. So you can use this drink, and then you can, in addition to that, use something that improves your stamina. Or you can eat a buff food that improves your boss damage by 20% and improves your elemental damage by 25%. And you can use 2 drinks and 2 food buffs. So this is why Chef is obviously for optimizing, for min-maxing, it is the best class. If you are enjoying gardening, and I'm actually very sad that I probably cannot choose this, it is a very nice profession, or a very nice class, in the sense that you have a lot of extra things that you can do as a gardener, and gardening in this game is actually quite nice. So it's very well done. So yeah, gardener, very fun. If you don't care about being optimized on your character, I would highly suggest you try out this. As far as I know, you can always re-choose this class when you join a new scenario. So basically, if you are unhappy, you can transfer your character to a new scenario, to another permanent server or whatever, and then you can choose your class again. You can never choose the class again in the same scenario. So I'm not sure if this is maybe possible on permanent servers. I haven't played them much, but on a normal scenario server, you choose your class and then that's it. So yeah, that's why I chose Free Person, because I'm not sure yet on this character. So we wanna make sure that we can select this later. All right, next let's go into the settings, and I will show you a bunch of important game settings. All right, so first of all, I want to show you auto tag. So you really need auto tag, very important. It automatically loots stuff. So basically, if you walk by a chest or like a dumpster or something, it will like automatically loot them. I think normal like gear crates, weapon crates, storage crates, these crates you kind of need to open yourself. But all of the stuff that is like basically in quotes loose loot, you kind of wanna have auto take. So for the builders among you, many of you will run into the problem that they want to take a beautiful screenshot of their base, but their cable management is horrible, and then they wonder, how the fuck can I hide this? Here's the option. You can hide water and electricity pipelines in your territory. And now for one of the most important settings for this video. If you don't see your in-game controls on your screen, this is the setting you need. You turn this to on, and then you will see on the left side of my screen there's like a menu that's popping up. Systems menu, tab is using the wheel, and I think if I take out the weapon, I can see that I can aim, and it will always switch towards the options that you have. So if I go on a motorcycle, for example, it will show the options that I have. Yeah, see, there's a bunch of stuff added to it. So yeah, very important to have this. Okay, there's one more setting that might be important for you. Obviously, there's a bunch of settings that you can customize your gameplay experience like you want it, but in general, something that I was heavily looking for early on is the low HP and screen effect display. So if you're playing a low HP build like I do right now, as you can see, my HP is basically on like 5%. There will be like a flashing red screen effect all the time. And yeah, this is not it. I can tell you that. It's not fun to play like that. So yeah, this is where you find this option. So basically almost at the bottom of the settings, low HP screen effect display. We don't want that. Or rather, I don't want that. Maybe you don't want that either. Alright, next let's go into different keybinds. So for building on PC, you press B and then you enter this like mode where you can like see, this is my territory over here. This is the border of my territory. I can now right click and then I get into this menu. I can like place a structure so like this, and then as you mouse over the structure you can like relocate it, and then you can delete it as well. So this is basically how building works. In general, you kind of get a sense for how building works in the tutorial. It doesn't tell you that you can basically place your base anywhere as long as it's not too close to a settlement. And in addition to that, you can relocate your base like every 10 minutes. So if you relocate it, it goes on like a 10-minute cooldown. I won't do this right now with this base, but trust me, you can basically relocate it anywhere and it will go on a 10-minute cooldown. So this was the build menu. Next, we have the inventory. So the inventory has a lot of different things that we need to go over, and this is actually quite complicated. So I will try to keep it as short and as concise as possible. So your inventory is split into different tabs. There's one for like tools and ammunition, and this is calibrations, so something you need for crafting. The sorting of the game, in my opinion, doesn't really make sense, but yeah, you kind of get used to it, and then that's fine. So yeah, tools over here, food and drinks, and other things like mod crates, formulas, basically anything you can consume or open goes into here. Also the access cards for some reason. Then you have materials. This is everything you can find in the world, like stuff that you, for example, this thing, it has no use. It can only be like research at the research bench, and it will give you tech points. So there's like no use to it. But other things are like very important: copper ingots, stardust source. So like materials you need for crafting, for repairing your gear, for unlocking like different stuff in your base and stuff like that. So that's all of that is here. Then you have like the special tab, which is, yeah, basically this is currencies that are cross character. So for example, my mod dust, my abyssal essence, this stuff is cross character. So if I buy more mod dust on this character, it will show up on my other character as well. So this is linked on the account basically. The crates, surprisingly, are not linked on the account. So every character has their own Starchrom crates, but if I use them, it will count towards the account-wide limit. So yeah, very weird concepts, sometimes a bit unintuitive in my opinion, but it is what it is. Also, you can see I have a bunch of formulas over here. This is like stuff for base building that also goes into this tab. Then you have the construction tab where you would expect base building stuff, but this is actually not the formula. This is actually like you build it. So if I click, for example, on this plush shark navy blue, and I say I want to use it, I can now place it. It says insufficient load bearing capacity, so I kind of need to place it on my deck. So yeah, now I place this shark. This is not created from my materials. This is not something that I can do. Actually, wait, let me quickly check. Maybe I can do that, and then I can show that it will consume materials if I place it myself. No, I don't see it. I think I don't have this blue shark, but we have a plushy toy, so we now take this as an example. As you can see, if I want to place it, you see on the left side of my screen material cost. It will cost me materials, and the other thing didn't, because I already had this item in my inventory. So yeah, that's basically the difference. All right, yeah, that's what's in this tab. And yeah, there's like stuff like hydro generators, for example. As you can see here, these are like very good. You can find them in the world, and they will power your base basically indefinitely if you have water close. So yeah, very, very strong item. Next up is Deviations. So Deviations are like I'm just going to say it like this because normal people will relate to this way more than if I say Deviations. This is like your Pokemon. So you catch them, and then you kind of take them home with you, and then you have like this deviation storage. Let me quickly go there. Where you can like place them, and then if it's a territory deviation like this one, it will actually work for you. So this guy is bringing me ore and gravel and sulfur. And then there's like deviations. Maybe I have one placed over here. Yeah, this is like one of the deviations, or the deviation that I have used in use right now. So if I press my deviation ability, which is X on PC, you can see that there's like a small voodoo doll above my head. This would now laser enemies, basically, or curse them if they are in the vicinity. Obviously, there are no enemies here, so it does nothing. But in general, this is like a Pokemon that follows you around. If you use it, it will blast the enemies. So yeah, that's Deviations. All right. Next up, this is the inventory done. This is the scenario inventory done, I should say. Now there's a small button down here. This is your Eternaland backpack. If I click on it, you can see, holy shit, there's a bunch of more stuff in that. So how does this work? Basically, you have this island for yourself, and I will quickly just go there to show this stuff. There's like an island where you can, it's a sandbox, you can do whatever you want, and it has its own storage basically. So this is my Eternaland. So if I go like to any cabinet over here, or like a storage crate, it will show me the Eternaland backpack. So this is my Eternaland backpack, lots of stuff in it. It is something that I own, but that is not part of the current scenario. I can make it part of the current scenario, but it will cost me points. I will show that in a second. But in general, you have two things. You have your Eternaland backpack, so this is this character's backpack, and then you have the account storage. If I go to any storage crate or like a cabinet over here and press G, I open the account depot. So this is my account depot. This is something all characters can use. And I will now show you something so that you can see how this works. Ideally, I would want to pick something that I have nothing of, but seems like it is not possible for me. Oh yeah, I have no advanced research tools, so we will show it with this. So as you can see, this is my Eternaland backpack. There's no advanced research tool in it. I have an advanced research tool or recycling tool in my account storage. I can now click on it, and now it's in my Eternaland backpack. So I can still not use it. It's still in my Eternaland backpack, but now I will transfer it to this character. Just to show you, this is the map, this is the Eternaland. You can basically build and do whatever you want here. For building here, you kind of need a different resource, and it's called Astral Sand. Yeah, right. It's called Astral Sand. So yeah, basically you can build a city over here if you like. It's a very beautiful map. At some point, I will actually spend a little bit of time and build over here. But for now, it's basically a storage solution for me. It stores stuff on each of my characters, and it gives me access to the account storage, which again gives me the possibility to share resources across my character. So now that we have the advanced recycling tool in our Eternal backpack, we can now go back into the scenario. I can now press I, and now I have this button down here. It says Inherit Resources. I click on Inherit Resources, and there it is. So as you can see with the small like palm tree and island symbol, this is my Eternaland backpack, and this is the recycling tool that we just put there. I can now add this to the current scenario, and it will cost me 1,000 points. Probably not going to do that, but yeah, fuck it. We will do it, but I will actually take a little bit of a cheaper item. So you want to inherit this, and now if I confirm this, and then it will go into my backpack. Over here it is. So as you see, it has a linked symbol. This means it's linked to my character. I cannot drop this to other players, for example. This I could. I can just like move this over here and let go of it, and then you see it's on the ground, like there. And then another player could come, and he could like press F. Maybe it's not working for some reason. No. So yeah, you can press F, and then you can pick this up. The other item that I just brought in cannot be picked up. It's linked for 5 days and 24 hours, so 6 days basically. Yeah, this is how this works. This is how your Eternaland works. So now if you end the scenario and you go to a new scenario, all of your stuff that you had in the current scenario is moved to the transit storage. This is different from Eternaland and from your Eternaland backpack. This is a storage that keeps your items for 28 days, basically. So, or like a month. Let's just call it a month. It keeps your items for a month. So now what you do is you withdraw all of that, and all of that stuff goes into your Eternaland. And then you need to re-inherit the resources in your next scenario to actually keep them. For example, if you want to keep your recycling tool, you need to inherit this from your Eternaland. It's very important that you clear your transit storage after each scenario, because these items would be lost if you don't claim them within a month. So yeah, this is quite important, quite a big difference, and actually quite a complicated system. I wish they would make this a bit easier, but yeah, it is what it is. So you kind of have to like follow along closely to understand this. Alright, so this covers all of the inventory stuff, all of the Eternaland inventory and account storage stuff. I hope this was clear enough that you can follow along. Next step is we're going to gear. So gear, you have obviously your weapons. So yeah, different choices for the main weapon and the primary and the secondary weapon, the melee weapon, and then your set. Your gear usually has synergies. For example, this gun does like weapon damage, it does crit damage and stuff like that. This set increases the crit rate, for example, and it increases the magazine capacity. So there's always some synergies between your weapon, your mod that is included in the weapon or like is equipped to the weapon, and your set items. So it's very important that you understand that all of the things, all of the small like cogwheels in your gear set work together to give you the optimal result. So it's very important that you actually follow along a build guide to the T, because otherwise your build won't work. You won't do any damage. So that's important. What do you do with your gear set? So basically there is armor items, there's weapons. You can find these in the world. You just walk around, you find maybe like a lone wolf hat. You find maybe like a PD90, a PDW90. This is possible to find, but gear that you find in the world cannot be repaired. Maybe I have something that I found. Yeah, see, this is dropped gear. Let me quickly equip this. Let me quickly go to my gear workbench so that I can show you. I cannot repair this. This is a problem. So you cannot do this for long. Yeah, see, you are not the owner, cannot repair. So I cannot repair this weapon. This is why you need to craft your own gear, basically. This is the main reason to do that. So how do you craft your own gear? Well, you have the advanced gear workbench over here. And then, for example, if we look at the weapon again that we just had, I think it was, Yeah, I cannot craft it since I don't have the blueprint. Perfect. Now I can show you this. So I don't have the blueprint to craft the weapon. The weapon was the SN700 Finale. So one of the best meta weapons currently in the game. I cannot craft it because I don't have the blueprint unlocked. So we now need to jump one step, which is not ideal, but it kinda is connected, so I have to do it. So yeah, we were at the gear tab. We're now looking at the blueprints tab. So over here is blueprints, and as you can see, some of them have like this lock on them because they are locked for me. I have not unlocked them. If we go to sniper rifles, you can see over here is the SN700 Finale, the weapon that I have in my inventory. I have looted it from an enemy, but I cannot craft it myself. Yeah, you cannot learn how to craft it from the weapon. You need to unlock this blueprint. And yeah, you cannot see it because it is actually cut off at the bottom, so we will actually take a different weapon that has a shorter text. So I don't have KM Abyss Glance either, and to unlock this it would cost me 8,000 Starchrom. As you can see, I have 26,000 Starchrom in the upper right corner, and if we click on how to obtain Starchrom, you can see I'm capped for this month. I'm at 66,000 Starchrom for this month, and it resets in 8 days. So there's a limited, Starchrom is a finite resource, and I want to specifically point towards that and want to make it very clear that you need to be careful about this, because you can make huge mistakes with Starchrom, and I did this in the beginning, and I had to sit around multiple days waiting for my fucking Starchrom limit to increase so that I can actually play again and play the game. Because yeah, I'm kind of a meta slave. I kind of want to have good DPS and stuff like that. So I was very frustrated when I crafted the wrong set, or I think if I remember correctly, I was missing the key gear piece, and then I couldn't play. So it was very annoying. So be very careful with how you spend your Starchrom, is what I'm going to tell you. If you watch my beginner's guide, link in the description by the way, I will tell you to play this weapon, the SOCR Outsider, because it's a very beginner-friendly build. It only costs like 4.1k, I think, Starchrom to unlock everything. The weapon, the armor pieces, everything. To unlock everything, it's like 4.1k. Yeah, I still say this is a very good beginner build, and I still suggest you should play it because it's cheap. There's not too much of a mistake you can make, even if you don't like it. It's a very beginner-friendly weapon. It's very easy to use, so you should get it. What you shouldn't do is what I did, and this is upgrading this weapon. As you can see, I have two stars in this weapon. It's like 2-star. I spent Starchrom upgrading this weapon, which was a huge mistake in my for me personally, at least, because basically like 2 days later, after upgrading it to 2-star, I decided, okay, I'm not playing this gun, I'm playing a different weapon, because yeah, an opportunity arose. I looted a very high level deviation, which is like the Pyro Dino, and it fits to this weapon, the KVD Bomb Bomb. So I actually unlocked this weapon, and it's currently not full star, but it was 5-star. I actually crafted it in 5 stars. So yeah, this is something that I would be very careful about, not spending random points on your gear. As you can see, Shelter Ahead, 2 points. Dark Resonance, 2 points. I always was spending these like small amounts of Starchrom and not thinking about it really. Don't do this. This is not good. Here's what I would suggest you do if you want to min-max this game a bit. First of all, if you unlock stuff, be sure that you check multiple guides, that you kind of see how it plays, how it might feel actually, and then even better if you can get drop gear, like for example, I got this like at this dropped the SN7 Finale. I can now play this gun, I can now test this gun, even if an unoptimized set, to see how it feels, if I might like this playstyle. I actually did this, and I don't like this playstyle at all. So that's why I'm not unlocking the SN7 Finale. So yeah, this is a way I would go about. And if you find a weapon that you like a lot, that you think, okay, I kind of want to play this weapon, I have it in drop gear, but I can't repair it, now I need to craft it, then you should look into unlocking it. And now here's how you spend your Starchrom efficiently. First of all, if you are playing a PSI weapon, which means an elemental damage weapon, something like the KVD Boom Boom, something like the AUG, something that does elemental damage, and you will kind of know when it does because it will say like something like burn or power surge or stuff like that. If you play an elemental damage weapon, you want to upgrade your armor pieces first because you kind of need PSI intensity. PSI intensity is this stat, and this will increase the damage you deal with elemental weapons. So for elemental weapons, the armor upgrades, because as you can see, this armor piece gives me 161 PSI intensity. The armor upgrades are way more important for elemental damage weapon. If you are playing a weapon damage weapon, like the P90 for example, the weapon upgrade is more important. To upgrade a weapon fully, I think it is 45,000 Starchrom. So basically almost an entire month. And you need to unlock the weapon, which costs 8k. So yeah, it's very expensive to upgrade the weapon fully, but in general, what I would suggest, what you do is either upgrade one armor piece fully or one weapon fully, depending on if you're playing weapon damage or elemental damage. And after that, you upgrade the other. Basically, if you started upgrading one armor piece, the next thing you upgrade is your weapon fully. Why do you do that? Well, because of blueprint conversion. And if I understood the system earlier, then I would not have made this mistake. It still makes me angry thinking about it. So yeah, what is blueprint conversion? I have one weapon fully upgraded, the MPS 5 Primal Rage, and now I can like put this here, and now I can swap my stars. I'm not going to do this because I'm actually pretty low on conversions already because I just started a new scenario, but you get the gist of it. So if I wanted to play the KVD Boom Boom again, I can now swap these, and then this weapon is 6 stars and I can craft it fully. So what you need is, you need one legendary weapon, like orange weapon, fully upgraded. You need one, if you play any of these, you need one purple weapon fully upgraded. I would suggest you don't do this in the beginning, just if you really want to play, for example, the SOCR Outsider. If you really want to play this gun, you kinda want to upgrade it fully, obviously, if you love this gun. You cannot swap stars from legendary to epic, from orange to purple. You cannot do this. So you need to upgrade one legendary weapon, and if you want to use this, one purple weapon. But after upgrading one legendary weapon, I would highly suggest you upgrade one armor piece, one legendary armor piece fully, and then later on you might want to upgrade one epic, like purple armor piece fully. Why do you do it this way? Well, with Starchrom conversions, with blueprint conversions, you can basically, every time you build your gear set, you move the stars to the piece that you are currently crafting. So for example, I'm crafting, let's say I'm crafting this exact set. So what I would do is, I would craft the Primal Rage, because currently this is my 5 or 6 star rather, this is my 6 star weapon. I would craft the Primal Rage. I would then move the stars to the P90, then I would craft the P90, and then I would go to my armor set. I would craft the piece that is currently full star. I think it is my Savior Gloves, which are currently having all of the stars. I would craft them, then I would move them to the Lone Wolf Mask. I would craft the Lone Wolf Mask, move them to the head, craft the head, move them to the chest, craft the chest, move them to the legs, and craft the legs. And then for this piece, you kind of have to spend the points to upgrade one epic item. So yeah, Earthly Boots, very good item. Upgrade it fully, and then if you, for example, use a different gear piece, for example these BBQ gloves, if you play the KVD, you would then move your points from the Earthly Boots to the gloves, and then can craft them. So this is how I would do it as a beginner. Why would you do it this way? Well, it gives you more opportunities to broaden your blueprint catalog. What this means is, spending on fully upgrading one set doesn't give you much because you're not using the blueprint conversions. You're not using all of the available resources. Your blueprint conversion is a very powerful resource, and you should make use of them. You have 18 attempts, and these reset each week. So basically on a Monday, this is currently recorded on a Sunday, on a Monday this will reset to 6. I think I get 6 attempts Conversion attempts recover weekly at a rate of 6. Yeah. So this will be 12 tomorrow, basically. So each week I get 6 blueprint conversions. And if you're playing only one character and you're playing basically one scenario and you're not swapping set every single day, then blueprint conversion is more than enough to cover your needs to actually craft fully startup gear. And this now gives you the opportunity to spend your Starchrom on unlocking more blueprints, unlocking more builds, and unlocking more possibilities. And this is by far the most important tip that I would have needed like 5 weeks ago when I started this game. I would love to have someone like me tell me, do not spend your Starchrom on random shit. Upgrade one gear piece, upgrade one weapon, use the blueprint conversion to craft your gear in high star stats, and then use your remaining Starchrom to actually broaden your collection, collect more different sets. Alright, so now that we covered blueprints, back to crafting. I will not show the SN700 finale because I don't want to unlock it, we just look at this gun. So yeah, when you have the blueprint for a gun unlocked, you can craft it in different tiers, and this is currently obviously a low star weapon, so if you would want to look at the high star weapon, this would be currently my startup weapon, the MPS 5. But let's quickly stay with this gun for now. So yeah, this is the gun, and I can now select the tier. Depending on which tier I select, the higher the stats go, obviously, and the materials at the bottom change. So if you start out the game, you obviously craft a weapon in tier 1, because you won't have any other option. You don't have the materials to craft tier 2, you don't have the advanced gear benches unlocked to actually craft tier 3 and 4 and 5. So you wanna craft tier 1 when you start out the game. This especially is important because you kind of need to preserve your energy link as well. So this is 180 energy link. As you can see, a tier 5 weapon would be 4,200 energy link. So you need to be a bit careful what you spend your energy link on in the beginning, because this is a currency that you need to use to trade with players. You need to teleport it, to craft your weapons. There's some crafting recipes where you need energy links, so very important currency. Now you have this optional window over here, and this would allow you to add a calibration to your weapon. If you craft a tier 1 weapon, I would highly suggest you do not use calibrations, or if you use calibrations, use lower ones. So use like blue or purple calibrations, like not the orange ones. Orange calibrations are not like super ultra rare, but having a very good one is actually a bit rarer. So yeah, this is a rapid assault style calibration. It currently has a weapon damage value of 40.4%, can be between 34 and 50%, and has a weak spot damage value of 21.5%, can be between 80 and 24%. So, and this is not the only stats that are possible for this calibration. It can have, for example, elemental, yeah, there it has. So it can have elemental damage, it can have weak spot damage, it can have like critical damage, stuff like that. So, and this is actually a different calibration. It's just so it's precision style. So this is a different effect. So yeah, your calibrations, again, are not ultra rare. You will have a bunch of them at the end of a scenario, but having a very good calibration is actually quite rare, and you don't want to waste, or you don't want to risk it to waste a good calibration on a tier 1 weapon. So only use orange calibrations on actually tier 5 weapons. So this is how you actually go about it. In my opinion, this is the cleanest way to do it. If you are new and you actually have a blueprint unlocked, for example, you have the OCR Outsider unlocked, you craft this at tier 1, then you play the game, you progress through the game, and then hopefully you will find a medium caliber weapon body, like this one, and then you craft this weapon again at tier 3. And then you skip basically tier 2, and you will skip tier 4, and then you craft this weapon again at tier 5. So where do you get these bodies? Well, they drop from weapon crests, they drop from like cars on the road, like these red trucks. I have a video on this where I send a character straight to Blackheart region, where I loot these endgame weapon bodies basically on level 1. So it is possible to basically skip this entire process. But for a beginner and for a person that wants to enjoy the game in a normal pace, I highly suggest you craft tier 1, tier 3 and tier 5 and skip the in-between steps. If you are going very slow pace and you are going very chill and you are probably not clearing tier 3 areas with your tier 1 weapon, you can obviously make the in-between steps. But in my opinion, these weapon bodies are actually harder to find than the endgame ones. So yeah, this is another reason why I kind of like want to skip everything. So for me personally, what I did is I crafted a tier 1 weapon, then I crafted a tier 2 weapon because I didn't know better when I first started. And then I was very frustrated because I couldn't find any of these like blue medium caliber weapon bodies and epic weapon caliber medium weapon bodies. So I went on like a research spree, and I found that there's like these red trucks with these blue chests, blue glowing chests on the back in Blackheart region. So this is basically this region over here. All of the roads have like cars on the side of the road, and there's a lot of these like red pickups, and they will give you a lot of these medium caliber weapon bodies in orange in legendary. So yeah, this is probably what I would always do and what I wish I knew earlier, and then I would do it from the get-go. But I understand that people play this game differently and they don't want to rush endgame instantly. It is fine to go step by step. Just so you know, these are not easy to find, so be careful if you're using them. Furthermore, this is only weapon crafting, and you can see obviously the materials change and stuff like that. But now let's look at armor crafting as well. So this is armor crafting, and if you now go to my Savior Gloves, so the item that I'm fully start up, the materials are similar, but there are other materials in addition to that. So first of all, you have this limb lining, and then protective lining for pants and for the chest, and then I think bulletproof lining for the hood and the mask. So limb lining is obviously hands and shoes. So it's always like, it covers always two things. Like you can see, used to craft level 5 gloves and shoes, and then a protective lining for chest and legs, and then the bulletproof lining for head and mask. So these again are not easy to find, especially the lower tier ones are not easy to find. As you can see, I have one of each, and then I have like 3 limb linings, and then for protective linings I have 12, 0, 1. So yeah, it's difficult to find. You kind of need to be a bit careful with like crafting these like mid-tier gear options, but you don't need them for tier 2, and you don't need them obviously for tier 1 as well. What you do need, even on tier 1, is actually this thing. So where you can change the furs, or change the skin rather. So I'm just thinking on how to explain this, but actually like just scrolling through this will show you there's a bunch of stats you can get, like heat resist, cold resist, stealth, maximum load. Yeah, again, heat resist, cold resist. So this is important, especially for the Way of Winter scenario, where you kind of need to work around this resistances to actually survive. So there will be like minus 40-degree blizzards going on, and then you kind of need like 30 temperature resist, so that it's only like minus 10, and then you have a torch with you that increases your temperature by 10 degrees, and then you are at 0, and this is survivable. So yeah, it is basically mainly for this system. But if you go to, for example, to my Savior Gloves, you can see those are completely different stats. There's no cold resist, there's no heat resist and stuff like that. It's a yield bonus for the gloves, and fishing stamina, for example, over here. So chest and legs, the heights mainly are there for like cold and heat resist in Way of Winter, but as you can see, maximum load, for example, this increases the load capacity that you can carry. So there are different stats on legs and chest as well. If you are not playing Way of Winter, you should definitely use one of them. And if you play on Way of Winter, you basically have no choice. You have to play around cold and heat resistance. Then on the head piece, for example, you have like this damage reduction stat. So it will give you, for example, weak spot damage reduction or sprint damage reduction. So when you sprint around, you will take less damage and stuff like that. So this is basically a damage reduction thing. Then on the gloves, you have the yield bonus. So maybe let's look at this. So Starfall Crocodile Skin will give you gravity crystals, which is like the current event. Logging and mining speed plus 10% if you craft with Deerhide, for example. And there's one more important thing. especially when crafting armor that you want to use in endgame content. The quality of the heights, see, like this is green and this is like orange, so this is legendary heights and this is like the normal height. So if I mouse over them, you can see my PSI intensity and my HP actually change over here. So you can see the legendary one gives me +4 and the low one gives me only +1. And if we go to tier 5, it's even more extreme. So as you can see, there's a bunch more stats in this legendary skin, and this is why it's important that when you craft endgame gear, you really want to craft with legendary skins. So how do you get these skins? Well, luck, somewhat, and if you're on a very active server, you can actually use the online trading. So this is a menu that I won't go over in this video, but just a very short overview. This is your friends list. This is your team where you're currently playing in a group, basically. This is your hive where you can basically collect your friends and then you can teleport to their bases, you can see them. Online trading, this is what I wanted to show. So if you go here, well, there's golden wool, so you can craft with this. But yeah, if you're on a more active server, you can actually see a bunch of stuff, a bunch of skins over here that you can purchase. Yeah, Warband, I have no idea, and Island Roaming, I have no idea either. So yeah, this is a menu that I'm not familiar too much with myself. So yeah, this is why we skip this in this video. Alright, back to gear crafting. So you really want to craft with legendary heights or skins if you craft endgame gear, because it increases the stats significantly, and this is especially important if you're playing a elemental weapon build, because the PSI intensity will determine how much damage you actually do. So, quick intersection, I quickly want to talk about this Wishbox. So, if your Wishbox is active, and now actually need to like find it. So this is the Wishbox interface. If you like press F on it, this interface will open, and you can give it like 8 gold ingots, like I do right now, and then it will say transforming in 5 minutes. This will basically mean the gold ingots are gone, and it will transform this into loot. And yeah, I will bring you guys back once you can actually see the loot. But this is a good way to actually get the furs. Let's quickly actually check them out. I can already show you what I got from my previous runs. If we go to crafting, we can see I have a bunch of legendary skins. All of them I got from the Wishbox. So, except for the Starfall crocodile skin. So this is a very good way to actually collect these skins. And this is my main character, which is like now 2 days into A Way of Winter, and you can already see, look at how much medium caliber weapon bodies and stuff like that I have, and already used a bunch of them, and how little I have of the others. So yeah, it's very hard to get these compared to the legendary ones. So just so you know. Alright, so yeah, again, I will bring you guys back once we have a result from the Wishbox. This will take about an hour, I think, and then we can look at the results. It's the same day a bit later, and we are now collecting the results of our Wishbox. And as you can see, the first screen already shows it. So we have Rally Cowhide, we have Floating Ice Bear skin, and we have Coastal Bay Crocodile skin, Lunar Rabbit fur, very good, very expensive fur, actually. So yeah, this is the way to go. If you want to improve your odds on getting these high tier skins and furs, you should definitely check out the Wishbox. The rating on the Wishbox, as far as I know, does not matter. What matters is what you put inside. So basically there's like a rating of 20,000, and you kind of need to reach that rating with the items to get the maximum amount of items and the quality of what you put in. So basically, obviously a gold bar is a legendary item, will result in mostly legendary items. As you can see, I have like a few epics here and there. So yeah, this is the way to go. Sometimes you actually get gold bars out of it as well. So this is sometimes funds towards the next Wishbox. So very strong to achieve good heights, and a lot of very good food that you can use for buff food, obviously. So yeah, this is the Wishbox. Yeah, actually not sure what this is. Maybe this is for like Way of Winter and I haven't discovered it, but yeah, I was never able to like change this, so yeah. Next we have shoes, and over here it's mainly like a movement speed / roll thing, so you run faster, you have more stamina, you sprint faster, jump height increase. So this is the shoes, and then on the mask, this is the most important height actually, because this is actually impacting your damage. So rabbit furs, for example, deal elemental damage. As you can see, the normal rabbit fur is plus 4% elemental damage. So if we now look for the legendary rabbit fur, like Lunar rabbit fur, this is plus 5% elemental damage, and it increases if your HP is below 30%, it doubles actually. So maybe we can find another dreamy rabbit fur. Elemental damage plus 6%. Lucky rabbit fur. After scoring a crit, elemental damage plus 10% for 3 seconds. So you can see it's different effects, and it changes depending on what kind of build you play, which height is the best. So the mask height is actually very important because it directly affects your build and changes sometimes even how you need to play it. For example, if you play like where is it? Yeah, melee damage plus 10%, this effect doubles while airborne. So for example, if you play the skin, you would need to jump around to actually improve your damage. So this is important, since you probably don't want to do this. You kind of want to have a different skin, right? So yeah, very important what choice you make over here. All right, so I think this covers crafting. Be careful with what you pick, but if you craft tier 1 gear, this doesn't matter at all. Just pick any kind of height you have. So if you kill a lot of deer and you have a lot of deer height, just craft with deer height. It doesn't matter. Just make the gear first. The gear effect and that you complete your set and stuff like that is way more important than actually picking the correct height. So what I told you about heights is all important for endgame gear. Basically, last bit of optimization. Let's quickly check out the tech cradle. So you have two things. You have the tech tree and you have the cradle. Let's quickly go over the cradle first, because this is very easy to explain. This is basically a buff selection that you have in your backpack. The more you level up, or rather in Manibus it is tied towards clearing silos and monoliths. The more you clear these silos and monoliths, the more of these options you will unlock. And then you select buffs that fit your build. Let's actually read one of them. After dealing elemental damage, the corresponding element damage plus 25% for 4 seconds. So basically, this is a buff to your elemental damage if you are playing an elemental damage build. On the other hand, this weak spot damage plus 20% against targets marked with the bullseye effect. So basically, if you're using a bullseye weapon like I'm using right now, the P90 is a bullseye weapon. When this target is marked with bullseye, so when I hit it with my P90, then weak spot damage will be plus 20%. It's very simple to understand these effects, in my opinion. Which ones you should choose is a little bit more difficult, since yeah, they kind of interact with each other and they kind of interact with your build. So you kind of need to look at a build guide, and then they will usually show the screen, and then you can copy the options. So yeah. This is the tech cradle, or this is the cradle rather. Now we are looking at the tech tree. The tech tree, you have tech points and you have these advanced tech points. You can spend normal tech points to just unlock stuff. Basically, let's quickly unlock this. So yeah, this is a drink. I cannot make this drink right now. If I unlock it, it will be possible for me to make this drink. That's it. So this is basically how the tech tree works. You kind of want to unlock basic stuff. Basic stuff, in my opinion, is something like a primary stove, primary supplies workbench, this assembly bench, very important. I think the tech research bench is always unlocked. I'm not sure, but I think this is always unlocked. So primary supplies workbench, where is it? The primary gear workbench. All of these are very important, especially early on. So all of these benches you kind of want to unlock, in quotes, as quickly as possible, depending on how fast-paced you play the game. You don't need to have an advanced gear workbench at level 1, obviously, but for me, I kind of want to have it, so I usually find ways to get it early. But you can obviously craft level 2 gear with this bench, so this is fine for the start. But as you progress more through the game, you kind of want to get towards this advanced stuff over here. So it's basically always in the same column, a little bit more down the tech tree. So yeah, lots of useful stuff here. If you cannot find something, for example, the furnace, like this. So there are a bunch of furnaces, as you can see. You can just like type it in the search bar, and then you can click on, oh, I want to know what is a recycling furnace. Alright, a recycling furnace is inputting materials in addition to energy links and yeah, basically recycle stuff to create something or to improve the recipes. And if you click on the hybrid furnace, for example, it uses mixed fuel and stardust ore to actually create better recipes. And you can use advanced tech. Okay, the prerequisite tech is locked because I have not unlocked the furnace yet, but this will improve something. For example, in this case, unlock the other stardust decay and sulfur chemist formulas at the hybrid furnace, which allows you to actually use these materials in craft. And if we go to the generator, for example, this is an even easier to understand example. I think it's this one. So yeah, number of generators +1 and +2 watts power output. So if you look in my build mode right now, you can see at the top of my screen I have 8 out of 7 generators. I think this is because this base was partly built with my main back then, and so I had the tech unlocked on my main basically, so that's why I could build it. It's a bit funny that it's it's saying that, but yeah. In general, you can go to your tech tree and then you can see, for example, on this small biomass generator I have advanced tech, and I can now unlock this advanced tech, and now it should show 8 out of 8, right? Right, so this is how you get additional generators, for example. Alright, so this is the tech tree. Why is it important to progress the tech tree, even if you are, for example, never using sanity capsules? Why do you need to unlock stuff? Well, this comes down to the tech level, which you can see over here. And at different points of the tech level, you will unlock different things. For example, if you unlock 2 techs, you will get 10 tech points. Not that interesting, but yeah. If you unlock 4 techs, you actually get the territory expansion, which can, like, I think it's double the area that you can build on, so that's quite nice. If you unlock 7 techs, you actually get your first like tech enhancement points, like these points over here, which I use to actually upgrade my generators right now. And then the most important stuff in this tech tree is at 5 and at 9, because you unlock more securement pods. Securement pods are these things where your deviations are stored. Let's quickly go back there, I can show you. And you want to have a lot of them, because a lot of these deviations can actually do work for you without you doing something. So this Digby boy is collecting ores for me, as I showed you earlier. And this is very nice, because now if I ever need ore, I can like go to one of these guys and then I collect whatever they have in store, so that I can use it to like craft or something like that. So having more of these securement pods is always a nice thing to have, and this is how you unlock them. You basically need to progress your tech level. Alright, so this is tech tree, this is Cradle, and then blueprints we already covered. Now we go into mods. I have a video on mods, and I would suggest you just watch this, because this is very well made and very well explained. Here's the gist of it. Every item, like a weapon, like your armor pieces, every item has a mod slot, and what you do with the slot depends on what your build needs. So basically, there's like, I'm playing a low-level build. This is like the best example. I'm playing a low-level build. Rush Hour gives me every 10% HP loss grants me 4% melee weapon and status damage. So basically, I'm at 1% HP, so I think I get at least 9x. So 9 times 4 is 36. So 36% more weapon and status damage, just by having this mod. And this is without the additional effects that you can see in the middle of the mod, which is a Phantasmal mod right now. After switching weapons, weapon damage plus 6% for 10 seconds. So basically my build works like this. I start shooting with this gun, and then swap weapons, and I start shooting with this gun. And then, yeah, I will obviously have a 10 second 6% weapon damage buff from the Phantasmal mod. So yeah, this is how mods work. And again, watch my other video on it. It's explained in way more detail. but this is what mods do. Last but not least, in the menu over here we have cosmetics. Not much to say about it except for spend reasonably, I would say. You can use this small cogwheel over here to actually display like different things on your character or not display them. As you can see, this is the cradle where my deviation, my combat deviation is stored. You can show your back weapons. You can show your headwear. So now I would, yeah, have this kind of lone wolf hat on. I personally don't like the style of the stuff, so I just remove it. But this is how you can actually display or remove stuff. And then let's quickly change my shoes. So yeah, if you wanna like make your outfit look a bit cleaner, or you wanna change it, you can do this like this, and then you press escape, and then you say save and exit, and now it's changing the shoes. So yeah, this is how you do it. Small tip on weapons. So a weapon skin is very expensive. Some of these skins are in the loot crates and they cost you like $500 or something crazy. So here's a small tip that I discovered that solves weapon skin problems for me. You can use stickers, and you will have a bunch of them after playing like for a month or two. You can have these stickers and you can like use them to to change the appearance of a weapon. For example, if we use this black sticker, we can now make basically a black P90. So we'll use the sticker again, like this. Maybe we turn it upwards, and then we can try to make a kind of reasonable design. I'm not an expert on this, so yeah, you might want to figure this out on your own and make it a bit cleaner. But in general, I just want to show you what is possible with this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's not perfect, but in my opinion, it's good enough. I just made a black P90 for free. And then I can apply like this camouflage stuff, and then yeah, it looks like this. And then I can apply a charm because obviously a thumbs up. You wanna thumb up this video, and yeah, this is how you can make skins for free, basically. I hope they don't change this after I release this video, because I found this and I thought, wait, why would I ever buy like a $500 skin if I can do this? Yeah, then there are expressions, self-explanatory, like you're standing, how you stand and stuff like that. Keyword effects is something you can unlock by improving your blueprint collection. Let's actually just look at one of the effects. So yeah, it changes the effect on the visual of your gun's effect, basically. Again, you can unlock these by improving your blueprint collection, and over time you will accumulate the currency that you need for that. Yeah, void rings is obviously the bird that you use if you glide around. So your glider. Yeah, not much to say about this. Oh, I jumped out of the menu. And then you can have skins for your deviations, which again, most of these are very expensive, so I would highly suggest you don't buy them. So yeah, that's basically all of the menus for the game itself explained. Now let's actually look at the menus that are hidden. The first and foremost important one is actually the battle pass. If you are not buying it, you still get this normal version of the battle pass. And as you can see, this has 200 levels and will give you a bunch of stuff. It will give you like these Mitsuku marks, it will give you crests or like chests, it will give you keys, it will give you dice. There's a bunch of stuff in this battle pass which is very nice, which you can collect for free, and you should. You should definitely make use of this and always like claim your stuff. Very important, battle pass. Next up we have actually the battle pass shop. So you can see I have 90 of these keys. I could now spend these on these awesome sandals. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in the menus over here that you can see, which might be interesting to you. Maybe you like these sunglasses. you can get this for free. You can just play the game, improve the battle pass, get this stuff for free. Very nice. Next up, we have the events. Wait, let me quickly show you this menu first. So this is your scenario menu. As you can see, I'm in the last phase. If you go to the earlier phases, you can see that there's stated what is unlocked, what you can do. So yeah, going through the phases, then it looks like this. And then you have the scenario challenge, which is basically stuff that you can do. For example, run over and defeat any target with any vehicle. So basically, I have not, on this character at least, not run over anything basically. But yeah, you can like complete these scenario challenges, and then you collect the Mitsuko marks. Mitsuko marks, I will show in a second, there's an extra shop for it, and you need this currency to exit the scenario early if you want to do that. Quickly collect. Oh, equip a weapon with a rating of 1700. Oh, that's awesome. We now have... Oh, perfect. We achieved one of the steps where you have to collect like a bunch of Mitsuko marks to actually unlock it. Now we get a Starchrom crate, we get the Manibus avatar, Manibus name card, and more tech points. Awesome. So yeah, this is very important menu. Again, this game has a lot of menus and a lot of hidden stuff, so yeah, this is why I decided to make this video. Over here you can read about your scenario, you can see what's happening with the signups, the scenario tags, like the visual wheel, which is like a seasonal thing going on. You can check your scenario classes, you can actually check the progress towards your scenario marks. I think you need to like complete challenges to actually get this. And then most importantly, the scenario honor. Looking at this, you can get a level 17 mod selection chest, and you get where is the selection actually? Select a body part. You get a random mod from that body part, I think. And then over here is like a shiny mod, which is like random as well. So yeah, this very nice. This is the end game basically. You have to defeat Prime Wars. You have to kill Manibus, which is like an event on the map. You have to do this to progress this. And then you can go to the scenario shop. This is where you can spend your Mitsuko marks. And this is perfect because there's another way to go to this shop, and I will show you this right now. If you press escape and you mouse over, or I think on console you probably have to like select this and then you can move around with the cursor. I'm not sure how this will work on console, but basically, yeah, I can mouse over like shop and events, and then I can click on events, and this will bring me to like a special events tab where I can check in on different events, and there's a lot of stuff you can collect over here. Let me quickly show you. It's this one. So this actually might be the same for you, I'm not sure, but I think this is a new player's guide or new player's event. You have to like master stuff here. For example, you log 30 wood, you build a furnace, you make a dish and a stove, and this will unlock different stuff for you that you can then claim. You will basically do most of this automatically, and you should regularly check in and claim your stuff. It will always be shown like with the small yellow triangle. So yeah, this is where you find the stuff. Visional Wheel is again the seasonal event. Over here you can see this is the amount of gravity crystals that I collected in this event. The more I collect, the more rewards I unlock in this thing, and then again you should obviously claim it. More events is like creator code stuff and linking with Discord, for example, it gives you rewards as well. Alright, so let's talk about this shop. What is this shop? First of all, you see this is the mod shop. This is where you can spend mod dust to actually buy mod crates and then collect more mods. This is the same for all of these 3 tabs, and then the last tab is actually you can spend energy link on mod dust and then convert the mod dust into mods again. So this is why I suggest you watch my mod video, because I explained this in there. So yeah, cosmetic is obviously you spend these cosmetic tokens, which you have nothing right now, to actually buy like cosmetics. For example, I bought this bar because I think it's cool. The challenge shop is the scenario shop basically. This is where you can spend your Mitsuko marks to actually unlock like name cards, like these statues that you can place in your territory. You can buy chests, you can buy Starchrom bags. You can buy like these crates. Be careful, some of them there's a chance to obtain, so you don't get this entire set, you get a chance to obtain one of these pieces, and you might get this, and then you're very sad, obviously. Yeah, so Then you have Starchrom crates, which you can spend your remaining energy links of the scenario on these crates. Actually, I should probably do this. Yeah, I should probably do this. So good that we made a video and I actually checked this on my character. Because you can never have enough Starchrom crates, I think. Because if you take a break from the game, you can regularly log in each month and then spend these crates to actually cap your Starchrom. So yeah, you can get these over here. Then you have a lot of territory items, which can be unlocked. I cannot see sadly what I need to spend for these, but I think these were Starchrom actually. I had to spend Starchrom on these. I'm a very avid builder in this game, so this is why I unlock basically everything over here. So here's where you find a nice plant, a nice bed, a nice couch, a nice chair. So all of that can be unlocked for free over here. So yeah, this basically I never used this. You can convert normal tech points to the advanced tech points to get more of the stuff, but I never needed this. So then we have the visual redemption shop. Again, this is like the seasonal thing where you can spend your gravity crystals that you looted for different stuff like deviations, mods. I actually bought this pack for the grass and the stone path for 20 of these abyssal essences, which are actually quite hard to get. It was a lot of grinding. And I bought the, where is it? French wardrobe. So these are paid cosmetic packs that you can get for free if you play this seasonal event. Awesome. Very good. Very nice game design that this is even possible. Next up we have the Mr. Wish shop. So these are random tokens. I am not even sure where you get these, but you get a bunch of them. As you can see, I have 10,000. And then you can actually buy stuff like this curtain, which I got for my base. And then all of the other stuff I did not find too appealing. But yeah, there's stuff you can get. And then betting shop, I have no idea. This is actually new to me, but it's chaos mutagens, so it's something that you can use to actually make deviations. So yeah, new to me as well. All right, next up we have covered basically everything that is relevant to free players. So if you are playing this game free to play, you don't want to spend money, this is everything you need. If you want to spend money, now this section is for you. So this is the shop. It will play a cutscene, sadly, even though I ticked the box that it shouldn't. So yeah, you can buy loot crates over here, you can actually get the super value deals over here, and this is something I want to spend a minute about. Yeah, I want to talk about this because this is again something where you can make mistakes. So we have this direct purchase section, and I sadly cannot show you exactly what the prices are, but I think this pack, for example, is $20. So for $20, you get 1,410 of these in-game currencies, and you get a pack that you can select of these three, I think. Maybe there's even more if you press the selector, but I cannot because I already bought it. So you can get the cabin pack and 1,400 Christogen, which is like this in-game currency, for $20. This is a very good deal because this pack usually costs $25 on its own. And you get double value basically. You get this for $7, around $7 actually, and you get the Christogen on the in-game currency. So these direct purchase deals are all very good, very money efficient. You should, if you spend, you should spend on this. Then you have the Wish Bazaar, which is like a thing that opens, I think, on Thursdays, and then it ends on Sundays, and it gives you a bunch of random discounts. So I don't know, if you enjoy this pose, you can buy it for cheap. You should obviously check this if you're interested in buying to save money. Yeah. Next up we have weapon skins. Don't buy this stuff. This is not good. This is a scam. This is basically a scam, this chest. So yeah, don't spend your money on this. You can actually buy the same weapon skins over here. So yeah, this is the same shotgun, and this is a permanent unlock. Yes, it's way more expensive, and you can get lucky on the other chest, but don't do it. Don't get baited into this. just buy the skin straight up if you want it. Again, I'm not too interested in weapon skins and stuff like that. Character fashion, maybe if it's like decent and it looks cool, stuff like that is fine. Again, deviation skins, very expensive stuff. I wouldn't spend money on this. But yeah, if you kind of like your cute Digby boy look like this, then go for it. Animations, some of them are actually like really cool, but yeah, it's again very expensive to do this. You can get a lot of nice haircuts for free in the Battle Pass shop, so yeah, I wouldn't do this either. Now to the most important part, the home decor, at least for me, because I love building in this game. Lots of these packs are actually like really good, and I did a video on this, like talking about the value of the packs. So yeah, if you want to spend money, spend it on this section. At least this is something you will use in every scenario on every character. This is account-wide unlocks, so basically, yeah, this unlocks a huge ocean of creativity that is possible with what you can build with these packs. Meta bounties. This is basically you can pay money to unlock the ability to complete an achievement, and then you get rewards, and then this will show on your character card over here. So I haven't done this, so I only have like the sign for our hive. But yeah, there would be a bunch of stickers over here if you had if I had paid for the meta bounties. But yeah, obviously I don't do this. Privileges is like a subscription model where you can subscribe and you get stuff each month. I don't do this. I wouldn't suggest you do this. And then the other shop is basically where you can trade in different stuff to buy colors, buy tokens to revamp your character, renaming card, for example. All of that stuff is over here. And then there's like this benefit section where you can get a bunch of stuff for free. So it's one energy link, which is like nothing. You can get the stuff for free. Very nice. Alright, I think I covered the basics. I think everything that we talked about is what you need to play this game, to understand the systems, and to avoid most of the mistakes that I made in early game. Yeah, so I hope you found this video helpful. This is a very long video, and actually unusual for me to do like a freestyle segment for a guide, but I had to make this video for console players because I kind of want to prevent people from making the same mistakes that I did, and I wish I had a video like this when I first started. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, it would be very nice if you liked and subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.